Welcome back to the Pit Stop Ranch, and this is our 2023 Grand National Roadster Show coverage. We went ahead and went on a Friday in order to be less impacted by the crowds. There's still plenty of people to have to try and film around. Coming right out from the parking lot, we're greeted by this vendor booth. Very strategically located, showing off their wares for building your own custom hot rod. It took a minute to go ahead and film their custom chassis here, and they had a number of engines with their billet dress-up equipment. Anyway, in our coverage, or at the show, let me first state this. There are a whole lot of vendors showing off their wares. Our good friends from H&H were there. Had a chance to sit and shoot the shit with them. Had a good time. A lot of locals and relatively local people go ahead and like to come and show off their cars. Not nearly as many on Friday as there was on Saturday and Sunday. But here's some, and they're mostly in the outside, and a lot of people come and go as they wish. I believe this 32 coupe and this Model A Tudor, the green one next to it, these are from, I believe, the Y Block guy on Instagram up at Hanford Auto Parts, gentleman I follow on Instagram. Always has some good content. They're similar to H&H in the fact that they specialize in early Ford engines. But overall, there's any car that gets pulled into this event is going to be an absolute gorgeous car that you would stop and ogle in any parking lot if you happen to come across, and would be a star of any local hot rod meet or improvised car show or a small town car show. And you just see all the details. For example, this Model A here from the Y Block guy, with his Thunderbird Y Block in it. Very gorgeous, beautiful stuff. It's almost overwhelming to the point where it becomes depressingly easy to walk around and be with a kind of another 32, another Model A with 32 grill. Hey, look, but taking a moment to appreciate all of this hardware and the fact that we've, hobbyists such as ourselves have been able to collect and restore and enjoy these vehicles for going on nearly 100 years in some cases, 90, 100 years. This 34 here, I mean, hey, it's 89 years old. So enjoy. Now, in our coverage, we're we shot enough footage for 4 hours of video, and I've limited it whittled it down to slightly over an hour, and I tried to get all of the contenders for the Amber, America's most beautiful roadster. And if you stay tuned, those are all tried to focus those at the very end. But as you can see, none of these cars are a slouch. Blown 32 Roadster, small block Chevy, and so there are huge sections cut out. The big last year they had a big air-cooled VW section. There are a handful of air-cooled VWs, but not to the extent that they had last year. They were celebrating the 32 Ford, and they had a special section just for air-cooled VWs. Well, this year they had a special section for trucks and boats. And by the time I got through just our favorite cars, I was kind of feeling a little, pushing it, trying to fit everything else in. So the coverage of the trucks and the boats is very, very limited. I don't think I've included anything from the Suede Palace as well, which is supposed to be more of the less shiny stuff, and the patina cars and the rat rods, which all deserve their own video, but given how tardy I am even getting this video out, not gonna go ahead and they're just gonna get left on the cutting room floor, so to say, I'm afraid. That said, please enjoy our coverage. I will, of course, interject and make comments on as we go along. I want to comment on this one. So often we do see cars that aren't traditionally chopped, aren't necessarily chopped, and many times, I find the proportions very striking and off-putting. This chop on this car and the overall workmanship on this car is notable and exceptional and very worth some time to examine and look at in detail closely. Not necessarily exactly what we generally cover on the this channel, but I really like this Cosworth Vega. It resonated with me. It's on my list top 5 cars at the show that I really enjoyed and really dug. I thought it was one, it's a beautifully done restoration, but it's also the fact that it's a really cool car, and it would be neat to do some. A Vega would be really cool to do as a little road car, and being a little Cosworth 4-cylinder, that's really cool in my opinion. It would be fun to do as a little road car, or fun to do as a little rally car or something. Okay, any metal worker who is willing to display their craftsmanship without body work and paint, where it's just pure metalworking, is truly a master craftsperson. They are by far what the rest of us hacks aspire to be, but frequently, due to time and frankly attention span, give up on and end up slathering up with Bondo, body filler, sand to get to the smoothness that we wished we could get the metal to, and then finish. So any metal worker out there who is willing to just put a clear or something over their work and display it for the world to see is truly a craftsperson, and this car here is truly a gorgeous example of such craftsmanship. Here is a 32, it's also bare metal as well, and from the looks of it, it is like a Brookfield body that has been modified for the purpose. I remember, well, this is a 2002 Ford Ranger, so probably anyone watching this remembers when this truck was new. And that was another thing that was at the show, that there are quite a few mini trucks. And they're all the mini trucks that the guys in my high school are playing with, and the people my age to about 60 years old were playing with in high school and building. They were cheap, disposable things that people got and did amazing things with. Regrettably, this was one of the only ones that I actually spent any time filming. Well, actually, I filmed quite a few of them. This is the only one that ended up in the edit for the most part. Okay, these next two cars. This gorgeous Chevy Impala with the Mark I big block. I assume it's a 409 just because of the quality of this car. No cost was spared. This was at, as you can see, the ARP booth, who were a major title sponsor. Not the title sponsor, O'Reilly was a title sponsor, but one of the major sponsors for this event this year. Once again, a gorgeous example of top quality custom work. And something, like I said, I very appreciate it's got the W block in it. Or the W head Mark I big block. And as land speed racers, or wannabe land speed racers that we are here, seeing this nice land speed car, this Streamliner, hey, with the skin off, really cool to take a look at. Hope you enjoy seeing this beauty naked, dual turbo LS motored. I bet she's a screamer out in the salt. Once again, another example of a very bold shop willing to display their work naked. Looks like once again, dual turbo LS motor in this gorgeous Lincoln Continental. I bet this thing is a terror on the drag strip. I presume that's how they built it for. Given the cage and everything in it, I don't know if that. I don't think that's an 8-second cage, but that's still probably a pretty quick car. Once again, look at that! Look at that beautiful metal. The only changes in color are the places that were leaded, and who knows if they were leaded at this shop or somewhere else. Right here we see the monocoque for a real race car. And by extension, here's a Lola. And I'm not sure if this is a replica or the real deal that they've restored. But here is a Lola road racing car, the kind that raced at the 24-hour Le Mans, Daytona, competed against the great Porsches and Cobras of the day. And a lot of these following vehicles are all at booths for local, or not necessarily local, but for custom shops, trying to demonstrate their skills and how good they are. Obviously trying to drum up some new customers. But we can see, all tastes are attempted to be catered to, everything from traditional hot rods to muscle trucks to race cars to grand touring cars or pro touring cars. So if you're looking to do a no limits build, walking through the main area, and I love this Gen 3 Camaro. I think doing a Gen 3 Camaro, proper IROC race, like road racer, would be sweet. But if you want to find someone to build your car, come in the Grand National Roadster Show. There's a lot of really helpful people. A lot of times, obviously, it's the salespeople that are mostly manning the booths, but you will come across a lot of times the craftsmen themselves, the people who actually swing the body hammers and use the metal files to get that level of perfection. They are there, and they're happy to gush about their work and talk about what they're working on or what they've done. And obviously they're looking to make a sale, which is the American way. And this AMC Rambler, which is, I guess it's a 1969, and the fact that it looks almost identical to my 1967, I get a kick out of. It's more of a statement about AMC's typically not investing as much as the other cars, but getting really awesome results, all things considered, out of their investment dollar. How incredibly creative AMC was. Because you got to remember, in the early 70s, it was a 71, 72 Mark Donahue with a Javelin won the Trans Am series. Shocking everyone that this little tiny car company did so well. F100 with a flathead in the bed, I approved. Okay, 66 Chevy Malibu Chevelle with a big block in it. Who do we know would like this? Yeah, this is maybe not the color, but this is kind of what I'm going for with mine. I'm obviously going to be building the 454 as opposed to a 396. I'm not going to badge it as a 396. It's just going to be a big block Chevelle 4-speed, much like this. I do like the color. I don't know if I would go with this color or not. And I'm not going to be running the Malibu Chevelle badge. I'll be running just the Chevelle badge. But very cool. Here, I don't think that this car is, they're definitely showing off the metalwork, but clearly the car is still under construction, this Nomad. But it is a wonderful statement, example of a shop showing off just how talented they are with their metalwork. There were quite a few gorgeous BOPs and Cadillacs. Buick, Oldsmobile, Pontiac. Actually, not a lot of Pontiacs beyond the usual GTOs, but there were a number of really beautiful Oldsmobiles and Buicks. Now, you'll notice we frequently, while filming, end up going high. You'll get a high looking down shot. And that is universally because we're trying to film around everybody else who's also there enjoying the show. And that's one of the tricks, or one of the challenges, is definitely we don't want to get in front of anyone else and ruin their experience. Our filming isn't more important than someone admiring workmanship. So we in order to navigate around it, we just go ahead. The camera's on a little boom. We can lift it up high, go over someone's head, and keep filming the car, and only catch the occasional bald spotter or something like that. And again, the nice thing about having come on a Friday, the Friday is there isn't as much of a crowd, but there was still a good sized crowd. You know what? I thought this paint job was quite striking. This 33-34 coupe with the Hemi in it and the stack sticking out and that paint job. It's just for, I don't know what it is. It struck a chord with me. I dig it.
Between now and 4 p.m. for a meet and greet book signing, opera legends Bruce Meyer, Drew Martin, Tony Packer, Bill Pitt, and Robert Today. That's the American Hot Rod Foundation group, building number 4. Cruise for the island. They were a meet and greet with Hot Rod legends.
The interior is popular.
And of course, here is the Amber trophy that everybody is coveting at the show. And so our covers from here on out, I believe, are the contenders. Definitely all the contenders. Some of them I'm not sure of, like this one. I'm pretty sure it's a contender, but they're the actual flag. You can see one in the background, a blue flag that says this is one of the finalists or something. But I think this was one of the contenders. This gorgeous woody roadster. I think that one of the great challenges of the builders for these cars, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this here is actually the Amber winner this year. I looked it up, and for some reason this car, I think this was the one that won. I might be mistaken. I might be one of the other ones. Regardless, how do you differentiate yourself but still at the same time fit the design brief to be a contender for America's most beautiful roadster? And the answer is in the details. For every single one of these cars, it has to stand out in a way, and that's where, again, you have the mirrors underneath to show just the level of detail that went into the car, making the car, building the car, to achieve that level of perfection, to make the bold statement, I, yea verily, am a contender for America's most beautiful Roadster. So you end up with some very interesting, unique takes on this. And as a land speed racer, of course, this one here is pretty high in my list of favorites and the ones I would like to see officially do well. This looks exactly like something I would expect to see out on the dry lake bed going. C-Class. Anyways, and here's another one. Here's a belly tanker for going fast on the dry lake bed. I heartily approve. If that is worth anything, that and $5 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. But you get my point. Trying to come up with something unique while at the same time still within the brief, the design brief with which the organizers have put together and require you to meet in order to be considered for these much vaunted trophy. And any one of these cars, you know, even as a runner-up or even as a just being considered is something that is probably means that if any builder that gets to the point where they're being considered, of course, they've already established themselves as a serious builder of cars. And this is this is a bucket list item to be able to bring a car and show it off. This Formula One inspired hot rod pickup truck, you know, that tickles a bunch of my fancies, you know, if you know what I'm saying. Something I would like to do, but I'm certain that when I do it, it'll be considerably rougher, not nearly as gorgeous. And then when it comes down to it, it's fun to appreciate these cars. And really, truly, these cars are going to be probably centerpieces of collections, both the owner of the car after it's been built, but also inevitably when they get sold at auction. The pedigree, the provenance of being in this event and being a contender in this event means that they're, you know, the $200,000 that were spent on building it might be recovered. Might being very an operative word. So now the challenge to me, or the thing that makes me pause about even attempting to go to this level, of course, is I like to drive my junk. So to have something, $100,000 car, or the car I've spent $100,000 on, it would become nerve-wracking to park it in a parking lot anywhere with that some sticky-handed child could walk up and put their fingerprints on, and the errant shopping cart won't come in and do, you know, $5,000 of paint damage to my precious hot rod. One reason why I typically, my objective or my goal is to make it look straight, make it look good, fix the rust, and a good enough paint job. But I do definitely respect those people. 'Cause I don't know, that hard top on that car, man, that was beautiful, beautifully executed, all these cars. So anyways, enough of me rambling. Let you enjoy the finalists and serious contenders for this most prestigious award. And we are past the 1 hour mark, and it is hard to say what not to comment on. It is hard to say no more. We've covered it all, knowing full well, as I've already said, we have not covered it all. We have merely scratched the surface of this amazing event. And here I am talking over one of the finalists, or several finalists, for America's most beautiful roadsters.
Thank you.
The grand prize for this amazing event. And here to say that with this last car, we are calling this video to a close. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Leave a comment. Tell us the favorite car that was in our video, or even better, tell us about your favorite car that you saw in someone else's video or you caught when you went yourself. And have a wonderful day. Have a hot rod-tastic day.